What's up, guys? It's the Power Mirai back with another video. Just kind of wanted to go over some of the things I saw and noticed in this new trailer for Sonic Frontiers and kind of go over my opinions of the gameplay trailer. So yesterday, depending on when I uploaded this video, IGN dropped another glimpse into what we could see in Sonic Frontiers and a whole nother 7 minutes of gameplay. Starting off this showcase, IGN already elaborates that this is going to be mostly showing off the exploration aspects of this game. You see Sonic run up to these boxes next to these springs and he immediately punches the box. The animation itself, it just threw me off entirely because there's not really any effect. There's no power behind the punch. It just looks like he just threw his arm out. That you'll see with a lot of these animations in this trailer that it's pretty jank. It's almost as if like he snaps into the movement. It's not like it's a natural flowing animation. So it makes everything look a bit weird, and a lot of people like me are kind of already like put off given the fact that they're using the Forces model still. So it just sucks that we're seeing that less animation effort being used. But this will be showcased more blatantly later in this trailer. But that's one of the first things I noticed. I just wanted to point that out. As the showcase continues, Sonic is seen running up this wall. Kind of reminds me of Sonic Lost World, but nothing too like specific. It's just like he's running up walls. Kind of reminds you of the parkour and whatnot. And then when he gets up to the top, you see him jump over it. It just reminded me a little bit of Lost World. Later on in the trailer, you see something similar where he's running up on the side. It's a lot of these features, I think, that it's weird to me seeing it mixed with the boost gameplay. But even so, we don't know how this boost gameplay is being intertwined within the game. Because during this showcase, you can see that like he's boosting, but it seems like you're running out of, it's like a temporary, like, oh, you can only press this button. You can't hold the boost button. But we won't know unless we get a demo or we get more features shown this Friday. As they said, they're going to show some more gameplay on Friday, focusing more on the combat. We also get a look at what some people are calling these Chow coins, but I mean, it's, to me, I can see it's clearly whatever these rock things are that you see moving and making noise during the trailer. It's kind of strange. I mean, if you follow these leaks, like I've been looking at, you'll know that like they describe that there's these little Korok type people that are just around the map, and they're kind of like, they just mimic what they did in Breath of the Wild. They just kind of like just do things. They can give you things, stuff like that. But you can see that it has a similar design on the coin itself to those rocks. So I don't think these are Chow coins, but again, if you're to believe leaks, there's allegedly a Chow garden in here. So, but I mean, I'm not going to delve too deep into that because, you know, leaks are leaks. You know, you can't really trust those people. So about at this point, when I initially watched this, I reached about the 2-minute mark or 3-minute mark. And I'm noticing like, hey, well, whoever's playing is going through this world, right? But what really is the objective? What are they doing? What are they trying to figure out? What are you doing in these hell worlds / open world, whatever you might call it? What are you doing that leads to gameplay? Because if this is really all you're doing, it just seems very boring. It seems like you're just given a playground to go around and you're just grinding on rails, going on springs. Then there's some automated parts that are kind of concerning, but it's difficult to tell what you're trying to do because it also looks like this is just a showcase. This is just showcase footage, as in they may have disabled certain things. I mean, you can obviously see that the HUD is disabled. Certain parts of the trailer, you can see that parts of the HUD are going to be lighting up or having effects because you can see pop in for it. It's just, you don't know what's going on here. You might, I mean, maybe there's a whole bunch of stuff. Maybe this little triangle thing he's hopped on, that could possibly be an entrance to something. You know, you never know. Or something happens initially in the game. You don't know because this is just like pre-gameplay, like just showing off something. I feel like they just were like, hey, we're not going to show off anything too important, but we're going to show these people what it's like to walk around this world. As the gameplay progresses, we begin to see the player go through more and more of the island, and we run into more of the problems of like, hey, what are we doing? It just seems like you're going through these rails, just hopping around, doing I mean, like occasionally getting an item or whatever you may have, but it's just like, it's a bit weird, like especially when you see these random floating platforms just sitting up random places, and then you got rails going all over the place. just a bit strange. It's a little bit off. It just looks weird to me. That could just be me, but the way it's built is just weird, given that we're in like a grounded, like, hey, you're on an island. It looks realistic and whatnot, and then you just got like, oh, this is floating here. But I mean, it's Sonic, you know. But the most damning thing I've seen in this trailer then is shown where Sonic is doing tricks or something. This is what I was talking about earlier with the animation being kind of weird. You see Sonic basically like, it looks like they tried to port animations from, I don't know, maybe Sonic Generations, whatever it may be. They tried to port animations and it just broke because it just seems like really choppy and like broken. You'll see him snapping to these different poses and whatnot. It just looks like it has like 1 or 2 frames and it just snaps into what he's doing, and it just looks really bad on camera. When you slow down the footage, it doesn't look as bad, but it's like, okay, it definitely looks unfinished, and it just looks really bad. I don't know. I'm not the only one thinking this. I think most people would agree that this is just like, okay, this seems pretty like lazy or underdeveloped. It's just like a really bad sign for a game that's been in development for 5 years. It doesn't seem like this should be something I should be noticing, especially if they're deciding now is the time. Like, they're saying, yes, this is ready to be shown. It's kind of strange that we're seeing mishaps with animation like this. It just looks really off-putting. It's a big red flag for most people, just seeing that the animations are like this. Then we also have to deal with the fact that the model is the same from Forces. So it's like, what did they use? What time was used to develop the things we're seeing in this game? It's just something to think about. Once we get past this segment in the gameplay showcase, we then start to see the player navigate some puzzles. Now, these puzzles look very bare bones. I believe we get to see 3 puzzles. We see one where you just walk up to the statue and you just turn it around. Then you see one where he's like, you're using the spin cycle to like get rid of the flames, like using the wind from the spin cycle to get rid of the flames, and that's it. It opens up an area. Then you see another one, which is like infamously like everybody's memeing on it because it's like, how did he mess up such a simple? You literally just walk on the panels. But you know, IGN players. But I mean, in all seriousness, I'm sure that they were probably told to mess up the puzzle the first time. Sometimes that can be used as like an ad thing, you know, like when you see those really shitty ads of like, oh yeah, download this game, and you see the guy just fucking up really terribly. But I mean, who knows? It could be just them being dickheads at IGN. You see him fumbling pretty damn hard on a simple puzzle, and then he eventually gets it. But all these puzzles look very, very bare bones. It doesn't seem like there's anything there that's like, wow, like I really want to, this was satisfying to do, or this is like, it just seems like, okay, it didn't add anything to your gameplay experience. It's just like, okay, we're at filler, typical game filler. But however, I do have a theory. It's possible that what we're seeing in this gameplay showcase might very well be just the tutorial island. What we've seen so far might just be a tutorial. So for all we know, this is just the tutorial area in the beginning of the game where you just get simple puzzles. And since the UI is turned off, you can't see that like it's like some tutorial person saying, hey, or the Omo Chow or something like that, saying like, hey, this is how you do this. And then it gives you very simple puzzles and whatnot. That's my personal theory, but who knows? I'm really hoping that the puzzles aren't stupid like that. Because if the puzzles are that bad, I don't know. Because once we even get further in the trailer, we'll see that it's not even like a puzzle. It's just you walking into this little hamster wheel thing that everybody's like, oh, it's a hamster wheel. Whatever this thing is, you just running around in a circle in it. And if it completes a puzzle, it reveals where this item is. And you just get like, it's just like, why it doesn't seem like that's something sad. Like, what are you doing that's satisfying about that? Like, what are you doing that's like, wow, this added to my experience? It's a lot of these things just seem boring and dull, or it seems like it could be dull over time. Like, we already seen like 3 puzzles. If these aren't tutorial puzzles, then it's just like, okay, well, the game kind of needs something. Once we've gotten to this point in the showcase, I was like, yeah, this is probably gonna end pretty soon. And that it did. It ended immediately after we saw this little hamster wheel thing, and it just cuts. My immediate thoughts were like, okay, nothing I saw was inherently like, this is like, I'm not buying this game. But what I did see didn't convince me to buy this game, if that makes any sense. It's a new take for Sonic. It didn't grab me. It didn't say, hey, this is the new Sonic game and you need to get it. There's a whole bunch of things that need to be polished. There's a whole bunch of animations that look broken. This didn't seem like the new next-gen Sonic game. It just seemed like the next Sonic game. The only thing about this that showed that this was a next-gen game were the graphics, the fact that it was in 4K and whatnot. But besides that, it just seemed very, very, very middle of the road. It didn't seem like it was taking advantage of anything. It didn't seem like it was groundbreaking. It just was very, okay, this is the next Sonic game. So I'm really hoping that there's something else. There's something more to this. Like I said, I'm not going to get too deep into the leaks, but if you're to believe leaks, the leaks have stated that there is going to be a cyberspace portion to this game where you go in and you're using, it's like boost form stages from Sonic Generations, Forces, Colors, whatnot, Unleashed, just something like that. Even if that's there, it just seems like I just need to see more. This gameplay didn't really show anything that you didn't think was going to be in the game. And I think this really led Sonic fans to be very conflicted. The common discourse with this game so far right now, after seeing this showcase, where you're either like, hey, this game looks great, but it needs polishing. Or you're like, this game looks terrible, it reminds me of Forces. So you got the cautiously optimistic fans, and then you got the straight optimistic fans that are just like, this, it has to be good. I'm hoping it does. It is really good, but I know to come in cautious, as you know how it always goes with games being developed. Hey, it's not complete yet. Hey, they have time to change this. Hey, they have time to fix this. But we all know how some of these games have turned out. Whether it be Sonic Forces or the next AAA title, they don't get to fix these mistakes in time. So a lot of people are thinking maybe we should delay Sonic Frontiers. Maybe they should delay Sonic Frontiers. So it's a lot of the Sonic is, once again, the Sonic community is divided between people who think this game is already A-okay right now and people who are like, hey, well, maybe I should just lose all interest in this game so I don't get destroyed. Because I remember specifically when I was waiting for Sonic Forces that everybody was saying, hey, well, classic Sonic's gameplay is not done yet. You know, the momentum when you're jumping, that's probably just the person playing. This is probably blah, 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 blah. But we all know what that turned out to be. So I think it's completely reasonable for people to come in here and think the way they are thinking. Like, hey, this game is probably going to be bad. I'm going to be slightly uninvested. I'm going to be cautious when it comes to this. And that's where I personally find myself at. I really think this game has a lot of potential, but we definitely need to see more, and they definitely need to polish things. So I'm going to come at this game with a very, like, hey, this is what I've seen. I'm just going to go based off of that. And I'm not going to be like, hey, well, this game could be changed. So what I've seen so far, I know that it's like, okay, this might be an okay game at most. The number one biggest issue I have with this game right now is just the little decisions that show red flags. Whether it be the animation, whether it be the fact that they're reusing the Forces model, like, these decisions are just weird. And the decision itself to be boosting in the open world is just strange to me. We all know we want to return to form to adventure, but they decided to have a boost formula open world. It's just the decisions that Sega makes like that are just like, come on, like, why do these things? It makes you think why. And that's my biggest issue with Sega right now, or Sonic Team rather. It's just decisions you're making. If you want to please the fans, we've been vocal about what we want. We've been vocal about, hey, these fan games, this is what we're looking for. Obviously, they can't just take the people who are making these fan games work. But there's no way they haven't seen the fan uproar of, wow, this is what we really want. This is the experience I wanted to have with Sonic Forces. This is experience, so it's just strange when you see decisions being made like, hey, let's make this boost. It's just it's not even safe at this point, because it's getting to the point where no one wants a boost full memory game anymore. So once it gets to that point, what are they going to do? They're going to be like, oh, well, that's the fans' fault for Sonic failing. Like, it just gets down a rabbit hole where it's just like, okay, can we, what do we do? It's just very difficult. But besides that, like I said, I definitely think this game has plenty of potential. I hope that everything works out and whatnot. I hope that we get a good Sonic game for once. Since, I mean, like, I've liked most of these Sonic, like even Forces, I like certain parts of it and whatnot, but I haven't experienced a Sonic game that I felt like I just played a Sonic game. I just played a solid game. I haven't felt that since, surprisingly, Sonic Unleashed. Sonic Colors was like, I mean, you could tell that it wasn't like a solid, like, everything. This is a Sonic. It didn't feel like a Sonic experience. Then we get to Generations. Obviously Generations is a celebration of Sonic. So, I mean, yeah. But like, ever since 2010, it's been like, okay, this is a Sonic game, but it's either a short good game or a short bad game. It hasn't been like a solid, long, content-filled Sonic game that was like enjoyable, or that's been an experience. So I'm hoping with Sonic Frontiers coming out later this year, they'll have enough time to polish all these animations, polish what they've got going so far, so we can finally get that Sonic experience again. But those are just my thoughts. I'm very curious to see what the community really thinks about this. So if you could share this video, or like leave a comment, like, whatever you do, the typical YouTube things, just because I just want to see what people really think about this game, have a little talking space. But yeah, it's been the Power Mirai. Thanks for watching.